Okay, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Just we are going to discuss Unit 9, that is planning, teaching, learning. First of all, we should know which factors are responsible for instructional planning. Here are some factors in this slide: school environment, physical environment, psychological environment, learner, and content. So these are the very important factors. Basing on all these important factors, a teacher must have to plan the instructional activities. So school environment, we mean whether the relationship between teacher, student, teacher, student, headmaster, teacher, student, parents, and the community members, relation with the higher authorities is conducive or not. Whether children are enjoying child-friendly environment or not, that is also related to school environment. Whether the children are taking care of following the equity along with equality. So these are all the elements of school environment. Similarly, physical environment like is safety, school building, classroom, office room, library, laboratory, sports equipments, play fields, all the toilet, safety toilet, um, toilet for inclusive, toilet and classroom for inclusive education. So everything is related to physical environment. Psychological environment, so children should be treated psychologically. A learner are the important factor. Similarly, content, the learning outcome, subject specific and class specific learning outcome is another important factor for planning the teaching learning activities. So planning is divided into three. One is annual plan, second one is unity plan, third one is lesson plan. Annual plan, we also say annual plan is known as scheme of lesson. Have you any idea about annual plan? Have you any idea about annual plan? Anybody? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Please give your views and opinion. What is annual plan?
Annual plan is the planning of all the activities that that will be going on throughout the year for a school.
Okay. Okay. Anybody? Any other?
Annual plan ଟା beginning ରେ କରାଉଛି academy year ର beginning ରେ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରାଉଛି.
Okay. Anybody?
It contains both scholastic and co-scholastic activities.
Okay. Any idea? Any other idea?
करिकुलर को करिकुलर एक्टिविटी को एथरे इंक्लूड करा जाते.
Okay.
So it include daily lesson plans.
Okay. Whether the slide is visible now? Just I am showing a slide.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Gone through it. This is a slide on English book. A new approach to English, class 8. Here are what? The contents. Here are the contents. What is this? You have seen the content. Now what is this? Who can say?
So this is calendar.
Holiday list.
Holiday
Sir,
list.
holiday
Very
calendar.
yes. Directorate of
Holiday
Secondary
list
Education,
calendar.
Odisha, Bhubaneswar. Okay. What is this?
Scheme of lesson.
Scheme of lesson. You see, class 8 English is there. Our academic session starts with the month of April and it continues the March of 31st March of next year. So the documents I have shown in previous PPTs or slides, those are essential to make an annual plan. The scheme of lesson that is related to annual plan. That scheme of lesson is known as annual plan. So 82 days holidays plus Sundays are there. First of all, we have to deduct all the holidays, 82 holidays and Sundays from the total days of the year. Then we find out how many working days are in which month. Accordingly, all the subjects will be distributed among the months as per availability of the period. So here, in the month of April, number of working days is 22. Period allotted is 8. Or only made impossible possible the rainbow. ଏଇଠି ଆଉ ଗୋଟିଏ କଥା ଆମେ ଆଡ୍ କରିପାରିବା ଆମେ ଯଦି ଟୋଟାଲ 8ଟି କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଦଉଛେ ଫର ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ଯଦି 8ଟି କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଦଉଛେ এই 8ଟି କ୍ଲାସ୍ ରୁ କେତୋଟି କ୍ଲାସ୍ only made impossible possible କେତୋଟି ରେନବୋ ପାଇଁ ଆମେ ଡିଭାଇଡ୍ କରିବା କୋଉ ଆଧାରରେ ଆମେ ଡିଭାଇଡ୍ କରିବା କିଏ କହିପାରିବ which basis
Sir,
we can
prose
divide
poem. Sir, prose poem.
no ଟିକେ ଚିନ୍ତା କର
major subject କୋଡା major objective ଅଛି କୋଡା କମ objective ଅଛି
no ଟିକେ ରିକଲ୍ କର
On the basis of learning outcomes. On the basis of learning outcomes.
Yes, on the basis of learning outcome. Very good. First of all, we should recognize ମାନେ କଣ ଟାଇମଲି ସିନା ଜଏନ୍ କରନ୍ତେ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ପୁରା ଡିଷ୍ଟର୍ବ ହେଉଛି Okay. On the basis of learning outcome, we should divide the period in different subjects. This is very important. One is only made possible, impossible possible. We have to find out which are the different learning outcomes and the rainbow. Then we should find out which are the learning outcomes and for which learning outcome how many period is required. So the periods allotted in the month will be divided into them. ଏଠି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କଥା ଛଡା ହେଇଯାଇଛି ଏ ପିପିଟା ଜଣେ ଆମ ମ୍ୟାଡାମ ଆଜି ପ୍ରେଜେଣ୍ଟ କରିଥିଲେ ମୁଁ ତାଙ୍କଠୁ ମୁଁ ତ କରିବାକୁ ସମୟ ନଥିଲା କରିଛି ଜଷ୍ଟ ମୁଁ ପ୍ରେଜେଣ୍ଟ କରୁଛି ଏଠି ତମେ ଆଡ୍ କରିପାରିବ ଏଇ ଯୋଉଟା କହିଲି ଡିଭାଇଡ କରିଦବ ଏଠି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ରହିଗଲା କିଏ କହିପାରିବ ଆଉ କଣ ଏଥିରେ ଯୋଡି ପାରିବା yes think about the English subject what other we can add with this essay or story writing composition writing or any other curricular
Sir,
activities
project work.
related to English language. Yes, Asmita Pandya,
Any
କଣ କହୁଛ?
project work? ମୁଁ କହିଲି
Any
project work ବି ଏଠି ଯୋଡ଼ି ପାରିବେ?
Yes, yes.
ଆଜ୍ଞା।
For that also some period will be allotted. Accordingly, and that project work, that story, essay writing or story writing or paragraph writing or any type of activity, that must be related to your LOs, learning outcome. এই দুইটা বিষয়ে যে learning outcome আছে সেই learning outcome related হওয়া দরকার। So the period, total period, 8 period will be divided into, and that will be reflected here. Similarly, in each and every month, the subjects we are allotted, those will be divided among those. Basing on this annual plan, we should go for unit plan. Unit plan is monthly plan. Then from monthly plan, we can come to our daily lesson plan. So that it will make easy for a teacher how to manage his or her activities inside the classroom smoothly and effectively. Therefore, all the students get benefit. So preparation of material, development of activities, using supplementary material. So everything will be prepared beforehand. Then preparation of a question bank, variety of questions. So all are related to annual plan. Everything will reflect in annual plan in briefly. Then from annual plan, we should proceed to unit plan, and from unit plan, we should proceed to daily lesson plan. Okay? ମୁଁ host को एबटे admin କରିବା ପାଇଁ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ନେଲା ମୁଁ I will feel very difficult ମାନେ ଠିକ ସମୟରେ ଜଏନ୍ ନ କଲେ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ହଉଛି ମତେ whether slide is visible now whether
No,
slide is visible
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
whether slide is
sir, yes.
okay yes, sir. So that slide I have shown that is about the कौन कहबो कि पांडव किस कहबो कि okay so that slide I have already shown of class 8 that was the example of the scheme of lesson or an annual plan from the annual plan in annual plan units should be categorized under specific subject matter and how much time is needed categorized into unit plan and daily lesson plan attention in the subject matter mentioned in plan grades months and how many hours are to be spent for each lesson will be reflected in annual plan from annual plan we have to derive the unit plan and from unit plan we have to go for lesson plan so lesson plan is based on behaviorist lesson planning this has 8 steps like purpose or objective that is learning outcome objective is learning outcome achievement of learning outcome on which learning outcome we are organizing the classroom transaction then anticipatory set that is acquire the attention of learners for the lesson then input is given teacher imparts vocabulary skill models theories concept what learners should know then modeling teacher shows a graphic form of a demonstration on his learners guided practice then checking for understanding all then 7 is independent practice then 8 is closure so these are the 8 steps of behavioristic lesson plan Then another is concept mapping. What is concept mapping? This is concept mapping. You see the slide now. This is concept mapping. Go through it. भलरे देख. Creative production may lead to middle is meaningful learning. Meaningful learning may lead to creative production, also a continuum that leads to rote learning. From meaningful learning requires well organized relevant knowledge, structure, emotional commitment to integrate new with the existing knowledge. And rote learning results from little or no relevant knowledge, no emotional commitment to relate new with the existing relevant knowledge. So this is meaningful learning, this is rote learning. जदि आमे काहाकू एई कांसेप्ट दउ एई भली कांसेप्ट मैपिंग टे जदि आमे रखि दबा काहा पाखरे, so a child or anybody can understand what is meaningful learning and what is rote learning. So meaningful learning requires well organized relevant knowledge structure and emotional commitment to integrate new with existing knowledge, new knowledge to existing knowledge. But under rote learning, little or no relevant knowledge is there. No emotional commitment to relate new with existing relevant knowledge. जदि यही कॉन्सेप्ट को आमे काहाकू दबाकू चाहूचे, this is the concept mapping. This is an example of concept mapping. हाँ मैडम मु जोथि में फोन करथिली पाई गली से पीपीटा पठे बोली सब के मैडम कहितली पाइली क्लास रे प्रेजेंट कर सलेनी. ओके. Then another concept mapping is there. You see, this is another concept mapping. You go through the concept mapping, please observe it. One minute. You observe this on 1 minute. Have you gone through it? Who can reflect what concept? Anybody? Who can reflect? First of all, you have to find out, notice the words in the box. The words in the box. Then go through arrow marks. So number of concepts are there. Taking these, you can write a paragraph or an essay or a story or any event. You see, concept maps represent what? Organized knowledge. Here is organized knowledge. Organized knowledge includes associated feelings or fact, as well as need to answer what? Now focus on questions. Another is content dependent. That organized knowledge is necessary for effective teaching, effective learning, effective teaching and effective learning. Okay, so content depend on personal, social. Focus questions are content. dependent. Okay. Similarly, linking words are there, connected using different words. These are the different concepts which are presented in the diagram. So these are the different concept mappings. Now, constructivist lesson planning, that is known as 5E approach, which is very essential for the teachers today. Engage. The first step is what? In 5E model of lesson plan, first step is? Anybody?
Engage.
What is engage?
Engage.
Who can say?
Engage.
What is engage? क्या बुझिଛ कुह?
Brainstorming work.
Brainstorming work. Okay. Anybody?
Prior sprint.
Warm up
Please
activities.
come up. Aji sagi warm up activities. Okay. Then any?
Engage.
Involving the child in a particular action. Involving child in a particular action.
Okay. Any other? Okay. You are correct. But one thing you have to remember, in this stage, we should engage our students in different activities like you told, warm-up activity or motivational activity or any activity you have to organize to make engage your students. Your prime objective is to connect, make a connection between prior experience and present learning experience of the learners. For example, suppose I am going to teach the subject like the princess marriages sweeper. The English topic is princess marriages sweeper. Or the cuckoo looks after the crow looks after the cuckoo's egg. Or the Kanyakumari, any topic maybe. So, I have to engage my students asking different questions or giving a situation and allowing them to think and come up with their response either in a group or individually. Therefore, that must be related to the past experience of the students so that they can recall their past experience and knowledge and correlate with the present situation. It will help them to continue in that period to develop the new knowledge, and it should predict the activities and focus learners' thinking. The activity we will give in that must be related to thinking ability of the learners. सेमानकर भावनाटा जेमती बन पूर्व कथा को पूर्व एक्सपीरियंस को सेमाने रिलेट करियो प्रेजेंट सिचुएशन सहित सेही काम कला भलिया एक्टिविटी गुडा का दबो. That is engagement. The students will remain engaged. Second one is बुझियाला ना नहीं engage step रो काम बुझियाला ना नहीं आउट रहिला. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Come to explore. What can we do in this stage? What can we do?
Activities, sir.
Through that those activities, what the learners will do?
Sir, involved in the topic
They directly
and
involve.
find the solution.
Directly.
Okay. So, explore. Who will explore? The student will explore. In the first stage, the student will remain engaged. So, we have to give certain activity. When the students will engage in those activities, they can automatically relate their past experience with the present situation. Then come to the explore stage. This stage is another very important stage. So, here the student themselves. What will they? They will explore their environment and manipulating material. The environment they are living, the experience they have obtained previously, using that experience, using that skill, they have to correlate the present situation with different their experienced situations. Learners test their own knowledge by observing and gaining experiences. For example, suppose I am going to teach English. First stage is engage, explore. Suppose there are the topic I have given the students to go through first and second paragraph. And note which words you could not find out the meaning, or you do not know the meaning of the use of the words, you have to note it. And then try your best to understand the sentence and paragraph. Experience and knowledge, they will try to understand. On which part they fail, they will note it. That will be discussed during the explain stage. So explain stage is another important stage. Learners put their experience into the communicable form. It helps learners explain the phenomenon they have been exploring. It includes learners to share and discuss their own experience with each other. एटे पिला मानक भितर से आलोचना करिवे, एक्सपीरियंस को शेयर करिवे. एक्सप्लोर पर से माने जो जिनस मानकर ए कथाटी गोटे पिला जानिनी अन्य पिला जानिछि. After sharing, they can understand, they can know. So teacher will create the situation, teacher will give them hint, facilitate, so that the students will learn explaining themselves in between themselves and themselves also, basing on their previous experience. The fourth one is elaboration. Elaborate. Who will elaborate? Learners will expand the related concept and make connections to other related concepts. जहा जानिले एक्सप्लेन स्टेज भितरे ताकू से माने कोरिलेट करिवे अदर सिचुएशन सहित अदर. Therefore they will elaborate. Learners practice skill and behavior by expanding their understanding of the concept and phenomena. Concept of phenomena. Last stage is evaluate. Under it, the students will evaluate themselves. How far they have gone it. केते से लर्निंग आउटकम हासिल करिसंती. सेमान सेल्फ इवैल्यूएशन, पीयर इवैल्यूएशन द्वारा असेस करा जीवो सेमान. After that, certain feedback and remedial classes will be organized by the teacher. So these are the 5 stages of 5E model of lesson planning. While we are going to in our internship, तुम internship काम कर दलनी? Internship रे गलनी? ना जाइनो?
ना सर, नो सर.
First year
No,
जाइनो?
ना सर करिनो.
सेकेंड वर्कशॉप फर्स्ट ईयर वर्कशॉप पर जानिबो जीवो तापरे. So during internship,
सर जो एक्सप्लेन और एलाबोरेट सर एक्सप्लेन और एलाबोरेट भितर टिके डिफरेंशिएट करि हलान बुझि हलान दिए
कहि दोछि आमे जदि गोटे एग्जांपल दोछि सुनो. आमे जदि प्रीफिक्स और सफिक्स लगै कि वर्ड फॉर्मेशन करिवा बुझियला. गोटे वर्ड नबा ऑर्गेनाइज, गोटे वर्ड नबा हमें ऑर्गेनाइज. ऑर्गेनाइज कोन हो? प्रीफिक्स सफिक्स लगे कर. पिलांकु एंगेज स्टेज रे हमें देई दबा ऑर्गेनाइज ऑर्गेनाइज भले आउटे दीटा तीनटा शब्द हमें दे देले. यदि वोकाबुलरी डेवलपमेंट हम करिया को चाहूचे यूजिंग डेवलपमेंट ऑफ वोकाबुलरी यूजिंग प्रीफिक्स एंड सफिक्स, ए कथरा हम पिलांकु पढेबा. एंगेज स्टेज रे आमे देई दबा जे एई वर्ड रिलेटेड कोन वर्ड सब अछि तमे फाइंड आउट कर. से माने फाइंड आउट कले एंगेज हेले प्रीवियस एक्सपीरियंस रु कोन सिखि छथि सुनि छथि जानि छथि ताकू लिखिले. एक्सप्लोर कले तापर तुम आपको सजाड़ कोटा प्रीफिक्स कोटा सफिक्स जिते एक्सप्लेन स्टेज को आसुची ताको यूज करी सेंटेंस फॉर्मेशन कर ताको यूज करी अन्य को सिचुएशन रे व्यवहार होची ताको कर संग संग आलोचना करी से एक्सप्लेन हे गला जेते एलाबोरेट स्टेज को हमें आसुचे सेठी तांको टास्क दे दवा एई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन भली आउ कोन वर्ड सब अछि यू हैव गॉन थ्रू इट फाइंड आउट and develop other form other words using prefix and suffix. That is elaboration. Therefore, the knowledge they obtain up to explain stage that will help to use in another aspect, another area. अन्य से बड़ी शब्द से बाछिबे बाछि की तार प्रीफिक्स सफिक्स लगै कि निजे फॉर्मेशन करिवे वर्ड पावर एटा होचे एलाबोरेशन एलाबोरेट बुझला ना बुझला नहीं
सर जो इवैल्यूएशन टा सर से माने निजे करिवे ना टीचर करिवे ना मिसी इवैल्यूएशन टा
हेलो
आगे सर
हेलो
आगे सर मु
पचारथिलो के
आगे
हां म कहूची यस Herbert and Shape was teacher-centered approach. Five model is constructive approach. Constructive approach is related to learner-centered. When learner-centered approach is there, learner will engage, learner will explore, learner will explain, learner will elaborate, learner will assess or evaluate themselves or by peer. So they will assess. So the duty of a teacher is to facilitate, to guide, to give support. Under the support and facilitation of the teacher, the learners will do everything. Teacher ensure how they will achieve the learning outcome. That is learning centered. Learners will give in importance, but focus is on what? Yesterday we discussed, learning centered. So teacher will ensure that. And
थैंक यू सर बुझे
guide them. काले ट्रैक पुर से माने बाहरी न जीवे ट्रैक सहित टीचर गाइड कर चलते तो असेसमेंट फाइव मॉडल मींस इट टू टीच स्टूडेंट्स okay then come unit 10 objecting of the method is very important. Learners of diverse background in a classroom, this diversity ranges from social, economical to intellectual level. So grade level of the learners, subject matter, intended learning outcome, learning environment, available resources, teacher ability. Teacher ability is also another important factor. So these are learners, grade level of the learners means achievement level of the learners or class level of the learners, subject matter, learning outcome, learning environment, available resource and teacher ability. These should be taken into consideration while organizing teaching learning activity. If the learner is not able to do certain work, so that work should not be given to that learner. So his ability should be think fast. Learning environment is another factor that must be taken into consideration. And what learning outcome? According to the learning outcome, the learning teaching learning activity will be developed and organized. Then the learner can learn. One is teacher-centered. Under teacher-centered approach or method, lecture method was very important. Teacher control, new material, effortless, one-way communication, passive listeners. These are the characteristics of a lecture method. Demonstration method. Demonstration should be planned and rehearsed for purpose of demonstration, active participation of learners, training in scientific thinking. Similarly, Team teaching, group of teachers, joint responsibilities, cooperative learning or teaching, specific competencies, need-centered, autonomy of teachers, flexibility in teaching, improvement in teaching learning process, pooling of resources. These are come under team learning or team teaching. Then learner-centered method by approach. Here, learners are active participants in the process of learning. Learners engage themselves in need-based activities. Learners select content, activity, and experiences. Teachers' functions are more as facilitator, and learners become independent learners. Under these two important methods, we may think inquiry approach. One is inquiry approach. It is related to act upon the curiosity and interest of the learner, develop always the questions, look at the problems analytically. Yes? किए कौन कहिबो कि किए कौन कहिबो कि ओके
सर हम जो
So,
एबे जो
inquiry
शिक्षा सिस्टम रे जोटा चालू जी सर
हां हां
हमर एबे जो एजुकेशन सिस्टम टा जो चाली जी हमर सर एटा तो शिक्षण केंद्रिक होते माने
learning
लर्नर
center.
सेंटर
Yes. Learning center.
आगे
Both learning centered focus is on learning centered, but learner centered approach is also included with the learning centered approach. Learner रो autonomy केते क्षेत्र रे अछि किंतु
आगे सर आपण
track should be
एठी तो मेंशन करन
track
लर्निंग सेंटर टा
उठी
ए जो मेथड रे लर्निंग
मो तमरा मु मटेरियल डेवलप करिछि as per your मॉड्यूल माने तुमर जो स्टडी मटेरियल मिलिछि कारण लर्निंग सेंटर अप्रोच परीक्षा रे आसीबो नाही मु कहूछि जानि थाओ तमे एग्जांपल देई परिबो लिखला बेले बुझि होछि त जे तुम मटेरियल नाही मटेरियल होछि ओल्ड ये बहुत दिन रो मटेरियल से मटेरियल से सप्लाई करूछन्ती से क्वेश्चन मु आज आम छुआ एठी जो तुम फर्स्ट ईयर रो आरसी अनुकूल रे पचारथिले मते जे स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ स्कूल तो material says 10 plus 2 plus 3 pattern of education. Yes or no?
Yes.
Today we are in NEP 2020. NEP 2020 structure says 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So if you will write in examination 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, the teachers who will evaluate your answer book in the examination, they may not update with NEP 2020. Retired teachers are there. Most of the teachers are general college education lecturers. General college lecturers are generally are not up to date like the training college faculties. Remember it. So,
हम एग्जाम छोड़ा भी से हम एग्जाम छोड़ा भी से हम ओल्ड ये आंसर आसीबो ना
सुन स्टडी मटेरियल जे लिखिबो किंतु सेठी साइड करबो इटा बट as per NEP 2020 the structure is so and so, therefore that teacher cannot give you poor mark. Similarly, when you write about learning centered approach, you may focus on learning center learner centered approach. You may focus on learning centered approach, giving suitable examples so that the teacher cannot give you poor mark. यदि हमें खाली लिखि दउचे तार धारणा भितर नाही तम मॉड्यूल रे से नाही से कोन करिवे मार्क तुम खरे मार्क देई देई पारंती तेणु असुविधार पसिबो काई की तेणु दैट विल रिफ्लेक्ट जेतु अपडेट जिनसडा जानिछ दैट शुड बी रिफ्लेक्टेड therefore the examiner will guess no the child has originality, the candidate has originality, therefore he has written is this, in addition to the content knowledge has been cited this, therefore the candidate is very excellent. So এটা ওটা জেনারেলি আসিবো সে করিবো লিখলা বলে সে করি কিন্তু in competitive sense what I am telling that you have to use and that you have to do in competitive sense. Competitive examination are the update examinations. Okay. सेति भाई मु सेटा छाडी छी. Then problem solving, one is inquiry approach, second one is problem solving approach. So these approach are very important. Under problem solving approach, important steps are recognized and define the problem, analyze the problem to determine its root cause. Where is the cause? That is very important for a teacher. After finding out the cause, then try to solve the problem. Select a solution, implement the solution, then evaluate the solution, whether the step or the strategy is effective or not effective. So advantages of the problem solving method, there are a number of advantages like participation of the learner is very important. Learner to study regularly and organized way. It helps the learner to gain scientific view and thinking. It makes learners interested in learning. It helps learners improve their sense of responsibility. It provides learners opportunity to face the problems boldly and to deal with the scientific approach. So these are the number of advantages for the problem solving approach. The learner can become an active participant in this system. So what strategies and techniques of conducting inquiry and problem solving? These are the strategies. Questioning is very important strategy. It is, you should remember it. Questioning is very important strategy. Who will question? Who will question?
Student. Student.
Student. Yes.
Student.
Always allow your student to form question and ask to teacher, to their peers. Help them how to form different variety of questions. Assist them how to develop TLM. Okay, while you are developing activities, involve your students. Therefore, the students must solve the problem easily. Then discrepant events, inductive activities, deductive activities, deductive general to specific, inductive specific to general. Then discrepant events are there. Number of discrepant events are there. That events should be noticed. That should be used. Group-centered method, then the brainstorming, cooperative learning, group activities. These are the group-centered methods. Discussion methods I like leader, group, problem, content. These are the discussed methods. Then unit 11 is teaching learning resources. First is important resource. Important resource helps to control forgetting. Important resource helps to control forgetting. जदि आमे पिला को भर्बाली कहूचे से शुणुची भूली जाउची जदि आमे रिसोर्स यूज करूचे आइदर डिजिटल रिसोर्स और द पिक्चोरियल रिसोर्स or any resource, and that will remain in the mind forever to control the forgetting. So resource also motivate the individual or child. Learners use more and more sense organs. When there is a picture, we should give a picture and say the activity to do. Then there are all visual sense organ, hearing sense organ, in the other sense organ will function at a time. Classify the content. Direct experience to the learner. Direct experience, move to the learner to the hospital, move to the, take the learners to the post office, take to the learner to the other bank or any other office, related to their content, related to their learning outcome. Therefore, they will have, I mean, class re kohiba se suni मन रखिबे forget रहिबो किंतु हॉस्पिटल जाई कि या तो बैंक जाई कि यदि काम फॉर्म कलेक्शन करे फॉर्म फिल करिवे, that will remain forever. These are different important resources we have used while transacting teaching learning material. Types of teaching learning resources are audio, visual and audio visual. Simple resources, textbooks, blackboard, chalk, other technological things, teacher and learner ratio, teacher experience and expertise, ये गुड़ा हला simple resource. Compound resource, use of two or more than two resources which are jointly necessary for better outcome. That is compound resource. Complex resources cannot easily brought, measured or adjusted. For example, instructional approach or teaching philosophies. हमें केते फिलोसफी पढुचे अरविंद को फिलोसफी पढ़िले गांधी फिलोसफी पढ़िले नेचुरलिज्म पढ़िले आइडियलिज्म पढ़िले प्राग्मेटिज्म पढ़िले पढ़िचे ना पढ़ने अरे ये सब जानिच ना जानि न
Yes, sir.
these are the philosophies
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Vedic philosophy Brahminic period philosophy but that is complex resource आमे सेटा को आनिकरी डायरेक्ट व्यवहार करि पारु नै when we read we digest and in our brain that should be developed screening after that what is better that we use in our day to day life so that is complex resource abstract resource those resources that are difficult to measure that is web relationship practices within a specified period that abstract that cannot be measured that cannot be weight what a weight machine ki ba fita paki ke mapi paribani ojon kari paribani mu tumo koi mate likile knowledge dio can you give this is an abstract thing mu koi mate kile बुद्धि दियो कि तमर दिखिले पर्सनालिटी मते दियो no it cannot be measured and weighted like the kilogram centimeter like this so this is abstract resource another important thing is bala who can say the full form of a bala anybody who can say the full form of a bala go through this
Building as a learning aids.
very good building as learning aid what is विद्यालय concept what is आम विद्यालय concept के कहि परिबो yes what is आम विद्यालय concept
Improve our infrastructure.
suppose I am standing go Hasmita go
ସେଟା ଆମ ବିଦ୍ୟାଳୟର ଆଜ୍ଞା
okay
ଆମ ବିଦ୍ୟାଳୟରେ କନସେପ୍ଟ ହଉଛି ଇମ୍ପ୍ରୁଭ ଆର ଇନଫ୍ରାଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଚର ଡେକୋରମ୍ ତା ସହିତ ଆମର ଯୋଉ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ଗୁଣାତ୍ମକ ଶିକ୍ଷଣକୁ କେମିତି
दीटा जिंस था यस कहिछि आम विद्यालय concept bala is under आम विद्यालय concept building as a learning aid so building should be an learning aid therefore the decoration of classroom is very important suppose I am standing back to the blackboard and front to the students there is a front wall and there is a wall in my left hand another wall is in the right hand now tell me what is the name of the wall before me मु ब्लैक बोर्ड को पछ करी छिडा हैछि मो सम्मुखरे थिबा क्लास रो कांथ को को कांथ कुआ जाय anybody
Bernally wall.
very good that is Bernally wall so there are number of Bernalis are there using those Bernalis the students are allowed to learn develop their word power means vocabulary mathematical formulas mathematics tricks so number of activities we can organize using the Bernali the wall which is left side of my left side wall is known as
Student wall. Student
wall very good students achievements will be reflected in that wall the right side wall is
Teacher's wall.
teacher's wall it reflects the question bank activities everything so in my left side close to the blackboard left side a reading corner is there and right side TLM corner is there but in practical a very good concept is Amo Vidyalaya concept but in practical those are now if you move to any school no book is available in reading corner no TLM is available in a TLM corner but what does it mean से सब किछि नाही So, community as a learning resource, guidance service, guest lecturer, community participation. So, everything can be used as a resource. Role of a teacher. Different writing style like pen lettering skill, calligraphy, freehand writing, lettering and painting, use of different colors in graphics, modeling technique, blackboard and chalk, craft work, blank word and Indian map, textbooks. Two types of books are there. The books supplied by government and the supplementary materials are there. So all are should be collected and prepared by the teacher and used in the classroom during transaction. Because the learners cannot be interested to learn and they cannot be motivated, and when they motivated and use all these materials, their concept can be cleared up very easily and smoothly. So cardboards, newspapers, cell phones, everything. आमे समस्ते विद्यालय को जाउचे बहु बीओ ऑर्डर करंती जे बीओ डीओ मोबाइल फोन हेडमास्टर को सबमिट करी तमे क्लास को जीवो वेदर आर यू अग्री विथ दिस ऑर्डर और नॉट अग्री विथ दिस ऑर्डर
Not agree, sir.
Not agree, sir.
Not agree, sir.
Agree.
yes I am agree with you also. So it is not wise order. So that is a very good resource in our hand, but we should be conscious, our teachers should be conscious that as I am a teacher and inside the classroom, I should use this phone as the resource for my learners, not neglecting my classroom transaction. I will talk in classroom. Therefore, it should be avoided.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So ICT and multimedia as resource, very learning resource is ICT and multimedia. Unavailability of infrastructural facility, inadequate training or lack of training, inadequate capital on the part of the individual, lack of time to spend on technology, cost of technology, negative perception, lack of power supply. बहुत स्कूल आज दिन रे मध्य करंट नाही ताले केमिति तमे आईसीटी यूज करिवो कंप्यूटर just I remember one thing when I taught the CBSE 8th class students of CBSE pattern. There is a topic how a girl of class 5 saved thousands of lives due to the practical knowledge inside the classroom when the girl was in class 5. You see, when there was a tsunami, in which year tsunami was there? In Indonesia?
2004, sir.
2004.
In which year?
2004, sir.
Good.
In Andaman Nicobar.
Okay. It is. It was the month of December. Yes or no? It was the month of December. And the foreigners come to Indonesia to spend their winter break. So there, where in the early morning, the people were in the seashore, immediately the girl of 5 noticed the nature of the sea, which was the symptoms of the tsunami. Immediately the girl of class 5 alarmed. It is the symptoms of tsunami, therefore you go away, go away, go away. So everybody climbed up the building. Immediately the tsunami came. Therefore the people remain safe in the apartments or in the hotels. Unless everyone will be went into the sea. So how it could possible for that girl, little girl? Because when she was inside the class, in America, in all the European countries, the children they are getting education in class 1, nursery class, preschool 1, 2, 3, in elementary classes using the ICT, projector, the real nature they could notice. She could notice the real nature. What was the symptoms? Patire kohiba, video dekhegi dekheba. With the difference achi. Dekho, the system of education was that what imparted the real knowledge to the girl, therefore the girl saved thousands of lives. But in our Indian, Indian ପିଲାଟିଏ ଥାନ୍ତା 15 ଶ୍ରେଣୀ ପିଲାଟିଏ ହଜାର ଲୋକ ମରି ଯାଇଥାନ୍ତେ. This is the difference between our education and the education of developed countries. Once M.N. Kundu, Manmatnath Kundu, M.N. Kundu, the professor of English, he told, when I was a teacher in school, he was the guest, chief guest. In his speech, he told, there was a test at the age of 5 of 50 countries like America, India, Japan, every countries. Indian students were in the serial number 1. Their IQ was 1. But they will left to their own country. At the age of 15, again they will tested. So what was the position of the Indian students? Can you guess? What the Indian student position take? Second time, from bottom to first. Within 10 years, the system of education in our country lead our students to the bottom, top to bottom. But the system of education in those countries lead the students from bottom to top. This is the difference between the education of developed countries and education of our country. In our country, in our state also, there is no specific policy, clear-cut policy to recruit the experts. But the administrators are selected screeningly. जो प्रोसेस रे आईएएस अफसर माने पोस्टिंग होउछ, ओएस अफसर माने पोस्टिंग होउछ. तम प्राइमरी स्कूल टीचर मान को से भली पोस्टिंग दियो एवं से आईएएस ओएस स्टेटस दे दियो. सब प्राइमरी स्कूल टीचर को क्लास 1 ऑफिसर डिक्लेयर कर दियो, सही स्टेटस रो प्राइमरी टीचर मान को पोस्टिंग दे दियो एवं सब फैसिलिटी जोगाई दियो. एजुकेशन विल रन. But no, education is neglected. But in other countries, the primary school teachers, they are getting more respect. For example, in European countries, some of European countries, आमर कौन करूचे? प्रथमे आमे चाकरी कले कोड करूचे, आगे प्राइमरी चाकरी करूचे. एक्सपीरियंस बढ़िले सेकेंडरी के जाऊचे, आहुरी एक्सपीरियंस बढ़ले कॉलेज को जाऊचे, तापर एक्सपीरियंस बढ़िले यूनिवर्सिटी की जाऊचे. नो
सर एजुकेशन ऑल किंबा एजुकेशन इज राइट्स नथिले, फंडामेंटल राइट्स नथिले, बोधे सेति के नेग्लेक्ट करावंदा, आहुरी नेग्लेक्ट रे से जानदा.
किंतु से कंट्री ओलटा जे फर्स्ट एंट्रेंट आफ्टर कंप्लीटिंग मास्टर डिग्री बीएड एमएड you should teach the master degree students first. Kaiki na you can do that. Next, when you get time to time promotion after age of experience, you come down to degree level, then plus 2 level, then HSC level, then elementary. Retirement बेलू प्रथम द्वितीय पिला पाठ पढ़ाउथिबो. Therefore, the education will run properly. तुम डिग्निटी कुआडे जाउनी, तुम रेस्पेक्ट कुआडे जाउनी. So this is the system. They are getting more honor, more privileges, immunities. से बोले recruitment करो, से बोले status दियो. No. The systemic reformation is required. So then, managing classroom teaching learning is another very important factor. Classroom management, understanding learners' needs, principles of classroom management should be taken into consideration. The headmaster, the principal, And the teachers, they should know, they should understand what is the characteristic of classroom management, how the classroom activities will be managed, how we have to understand our learners' need and requirement. Accordingly, we should give them support. When managing a classroom, number of factors are influencing. What are they? Now, effective instruction, setting and implementing rules, managing your intervention, feedback on appropriate behavior, class environment is very important. What techniques we have to use? Behavioral modification technique, how to modify the behavior, learner responsibility, group activity, skill in maintaining learners' attention, how learners' attention will be done, that must be given into focus. Managing learning in inclusive classroom, you know your learner first. What is your learner and what is his requirement? Know the resource, which resource is essential to teach. Goti HI pilate achi, nihati tumako hearing aid saito sign language is very important resource. VI pila heichi, Braille letter is a very important resource. And low vision students, large books are important resources. Collaborative and cooperative learning strategy, supportive behavior, classroom sitting, variety in teaching methods. So one method should not be effective for the whole class. Okay, variety of teaching method have to use inside the classroom. Time management is another important factor. Available of a time, allocation of a time, engaged time, academic learning time, pacing curriculum and lesson, and transition time. So it is very important. So these are the important factors for management of a class. While a teacher managing the class, so what we are doing? Always we are not thinking about all these principles. So a teacher must be careful of all these principles so that you can manage the classroom activity very easily and smoothly. Okay, this is all about block 3. Now we are going to start discussion on block 4. Okay, I am sharing within 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay. Now you go for so unit 13, teacher in diverse role. Teacher is a single person, but role is different. How? Teacher in a classroom, teacher as a colleague, teacher in the community. As a human being, we are living in the community, in the society. Yes or no? I am also a colleague.
Yes,
Number
sir.
of colleagues are there in the school. Teacher in a classroom. So a teacher creates an artificial environment in the classroom. Always try to create artificial environment. And that artificial environment must be conducive and appropriate for the child. गोटे शिशु मंदिर थरे काम कला बेले मत गोटे छुआटे कहला कहला गुरुजी से अमुक गुरुजी नाटा कहूनी से भारी मिछ कहउछंती मु कहली कोन रे मा मिछ कहउछंती ना एई कथा सब कहले आमे जानुचु सारे गुरुजी मिछ कहउछंती हेले आमे सुनुचु भारी इंटरेस्ट लागुचु मु कहली देयरफॉर ही इज टेलिंग लाई बुझियला एथरो कोन बुझिला ए एग्जांपल कोन तम बुझिला
As a colleague, we should give support to our colleagues also, other teachers.
ମୋ ପୁଅ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଛୋଟଟେ ହେଇଥିଲା ମତେ ରାତିରେ ଶୋଇଲା ବେଳେ କହିବ ଗୋଟେ ଗପ କହ, ସେଟା ସରିଗଲେ କହ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଗପ କହ, ସେଟା ସରିଗଲେ କହ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଗପ କହ। ତାକୁ ନିଦ ହେଲା ଯେ ସେ 3ଟା 4ଟା 5ଟା ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଗପ କହ, ଛୋଟ ଛୁଆ ନହେଲେ କାନ୍ଦିବ। ଆଚ୍ଛା ଆମ ପାଖରେ କେତେ ଗପ ଅଛି କି? ବାଧ୍ୟ ହେଇକି ମିଛ କଥା ଗପ କହିବ। ସେଇ 2 ବର୍ଷ 3 ବର୍ଷର ଛୁଆ ଜାଣିପାରୁଥିଲା ବାବା ଗପ କହୁଛନ୍ତି କିନ୍ତୁ ଏରା ସବୁ ମିଛ ଗପ। ତା ମାମୁଁ ଗଲେ ସେ କହେ ବାବା ମତେ ସବୁ ଗପ କହୁଛନ୍ତି କିନ୍ତୁ ମିଛ ଗପ ସବୁ କହୁଛନ୍ତି। But we are telling the stories, creating stories and telling that stories. It is essential. Similarly, that is artificial, not natural, artificial. So here, a teacher creates an artificial environment in the classroom for facilitating the learning of the learners. He or she provides instruction to the learners, motivate them for learning, helps them to rectify their mistake, guides them in different situations, and evaluates their performance, their achievement level. So these are the activity of a teacher inside the classroom. Teacher as a colleague, respect to other teachers' ideas, always ready to accept something from others. Never think I know more, I am master, I have no requirement to learn from others. It is wrong. So cooperative, be cooperative, participatory, give support to others and get support from others as a colleague. Teacher in the community. So community means in the society, teacher's role is a social worker. Always offer your assistance to others. Always help to others. Being a social worker, you serve for the society. At the time of natural calamity, election, census, everything is there, vaccination. Your role is very important. You remember what was the role of a teacher during COVID-19 pandemic? What was the role? The teacher became the doctor. The teacher became the nurse. The teacher became the messenger also. So teacher's role is very important in the society, in the community. So that must be understood by every teacher. Teacher as a citizen. Teacher as a friend, philosopher and guide. Teacher as a citizen should inculcate the democratic values in themselves as well as others. Unbiased personalities, free from corruption, scandals, riots, exploitations, check anti-social and anti-national activities. And teachers should become the friend, philosopher and guide of the learners as well as the fellow colleagues. So teacher's personality is very important. His characteristic like personal qualities, honesty, truthfulness, loyalty, punctuality, cleanliness, dedication, affection, and affection like love, helpful, cooperation, well behavior, empathy like great virtue. Pupils' problems and understanding pupil is very important factor for the teacher. So who can say what is the meaning of empathy? Anybody? What is the meaning of empathy?
ଅନ୍ୟର ଇମୋସନ
What example? Give an example.
ନିଜକୁ ସେଇ ଜାଗାରେ ରଖିକି ଭାବିବା ଯେ actually କେମିତି feel ହଉଥିବ, ନିଜେ ସେଇଟାକୁ feel କରିବେ।
Yes. Suppose ଗୋଟେ ଲୋକ ଆକ୍ସିଡେଣ୍ଟରେ ତା ଗୋଡଟେ କଟି ଯାଇଛି। ଯୋଉ ମାନସିକତାରେ ସେ ଲୋକ ଅଛି ଯଦି ସେଇ ମାନସିକତାରେ ମୋର ଆସିଲା ତାହେଲେ I can say I have empathy to that fellow. So it is very easy to speak, but feeling is very difficult. ଯାତ୍ରାରେ ତ ପାଥେଟିକ ରୋଲ କଲେ ଆମକୁ କାନ୍ଦ ଆସେନି, ଫିଲିଂସ ଆସେନି, ଆମେ ବାଧ୍ୟ ହୋଇ କ'ଣ ମାରିଦେବୁ, ରମୁତରଞ୍ଜନ ଆଖିରେ ମାରିଦେଲେ ଲୁହ ଗଳିବ, ଅଡିଏନ୍ସ ଦେଖିବେ ଲୁହ ବୋହିଲା, but there is no real feeling. So it should be like that. So concern and commitment, humor, personal value like cleanliness, punctuality, honesty, these are the personal values. Teacher as a transmitter of knowledge like introduces a lesson, explain a concept, clarifies doubts, and giving suitable example and illustration to the students to clarify the doubts. A teacher draws a diagram while explaining, asks questions to the learners, and always be very flexible for the learners in the form of question answer discussion session. Okay, so these are the different qualities of teacher while become a transmitter of knowledge. Here is an teaching an interactive function. Here is a diagram you see. Who can say what diagram is it? आ विषय टे कहिलो के धाड़ी दे धाड़ी कहिलो टिके स्लाइड देखो को yes nobody
Sir, input by the teacher to the learner. और learner जहाँ भी जो achieve कला ताकू हमें सेटा को आम achievement test करिबा सेटा जो outcome आसे सेटा हमरो outcome होबा.
output. Okay, anybody, any other?
The teacher provides an environment for learning. There is the input, and learner interact with the environment, interact with the peer, and learn and gives the output, gives the result, what he understood.
Very good, nice. How ke kahibo ki anybody? So Manasi has already very wonderfully explained. Learner is the focus point. As a facilitator, we give facilitation. Relate the learner with a different environment through facilitation. That is input. Receives. And automatically the learner will relate to other his environment, his world, your world. So that is output. This is the benefit of interactive functioning. Interactive function. जदि हमें interaction टा करिबा सदा बेले ए बेनिफिट हमको मिले. So content is transacted. The teaching learning material is transacted. That is content. Who transacts it? The teacher or the person having learning experience will transact it. Following different methods and using aids or TLM. To whom it is meant for the learner. When learner participates in all these, automatically learner emerges with certain changes in learning, means behavior, modification of behavior. That is output. When learner has modification or change in behavior, that is output. Okay. So this is the teaching and interactive function diagram. Teacher as a planner. You see, teacher as a planner. Who is a planner? The teacher as a planner. In a koutilimu, annual plan, unit plan, lesson plan, both the curricular and the co-curricular area. So teacher will do it. There is objectives for whom it is meant, when it should be organized, where it will be organized, how it will be prepared and organized, and what will be the outcome. These are the thoughts of the teacher or the planner. Basing on these objectives for whom, when, where, how, and outcome, the planning will be prepared. Teacher is a facilitator, we know it very well. Teacher as a co-creator, teacher as a leader, teacher as a manager, and teacher as a counselor. The teacher's role is very important. So these are the important role and function of a teacher. Teacher becomes the very best counselor. Jodi teacher ta counselor hei pariboni, student ko konosi prakar guidance dei paribo nahi. So teacher manages all the activities. Then unit 14 is teacher as innovator and action researcher. It is very important. Here is the concept of action research. So paradigm of teaching learning in school education relates to NCF 2005 and Right to Education Act 2009. And we have to think about in the guiding principle of 5 guiding principle of NCF 2005. Can you say what are the guiding principles of NCF 2005? What are the guiding principles of NCF 2005? Who can say?
So to connect school knowledge with our environment knowledge.
Effort of learning.
Sir,
Sir,
learning
free
without
from
burden.
routine learning.
Very
Shifting
good.
from
Then,
rote memorization.
yes.
Learning without burden.
Shifting from
Flexible
rote memorization.
Flexible evaluation.
Also unity in examination.
Providing quality education
Okay.
and 360-degree evaluation.
Okay, very good, very good, very good.
Learning
Thanks,
without
Sabu.
burden.
Free from rote method and to develop the scientific knowledge.
Temper, scientific temper. Okay. Okay, very good. So, the 5 guiding principles of NCF 2005, which are also reflected in Right to Education Act 2009. And that is based on constructive approach and child-centered approach, as well as learning-centered approach. If a question comes to our mind, what is innovation? What should we think? Suppose a question comes in our mind, what is innovation? What should we think?
Doing something new. Doing something new.
Very good.
Create
Doing?
something new.
Yes. Any other? Something new, novelty, new style of work, creativity. Very good. Creativity. Okay. So a teacher must be an innovator, a good creator, a good organizer, and a good, very good manager. So these abilities should be developed in the mind of the teachers. So types of innovations are product innovation, like car, television, fridge, food items, educational kits. These are the product innovation. Process innovation, new and improved delivery mechanism, methods, techniques, like brainstorming, chain drill, direct approach, bilingual method, eclectic method. Can you say what is eclectic method? What is eclectic method? Anybody who can say what is eclectic method? Eclectic method. Using variety type of method at a time as per the ability of our learners is known as eclectic method. For example, when in a class I will organize the teaching learning activities on the subject English. So if I will use direct method, what is the percent of students will understand and participate? आम ओडिया मीडियम स्कूल रे हाई स्कूल रे जदि मु डायरेक्ट मेथड यूज करी पढैली केते परसेंट पिला पार्टिसिपेट करिवे बुझिवे व्हाट इज योर एक्सपीरियंस
Null. I think more 5 to 10, not more than that.
Very few, very few.
yes
So
so direct method is for 5% students. So if I will use only direct method, so 95% students will be neglected. Therefore, I will think other method for other students. Some will get benefit from bilingual method. Some will get benefit from grammar translation method. So at a time, as per the ability of the students, a teacher should use variety of methods and techniques inside the classroom. Say 45 minutes with us use karta hai, as per necessity of the child. That method is known as eclectic method. Man rakhiye gatha. So, teacher as an action researcher. Because teacher is the action researcher, because teacher faces the problem inside the classroom. Teacher faces the difficulty with his children or students. Therefore, the teacher take necessary step to find out the problem of the child, prepare strategy to solve that problem, use a prepared strategy, and then after try to understand whether the using strategy was giving benefit to the child or not. So doing all is related to action research. Therefore, teacher is an action researcher. Teacher conducts action research to solve the problem of the children. So teacher is an action researcher. Okay. Teachers preparedness for action research. It is very important. Action research ऊपर कौन तुम मान का धारणा आज टे कहला तुम तो समझ डीएलडी करछ डीएलडी तो पुनी 50 मार्क एक्शन रिसर्च प्रैक्टिकल प्रोजेक्ट करी आसीछ व्हाट इज योर जे जहा जानि टे कहला शेयर कला तापर हम आलोचना करिया
सर एक्शन रिसर्च इज आमे जो टाइम रे टीचिंग दो से टीचिंग टाइम रे क्लासरूम रे आमे कोन जनरली को प्रॉब्लम स्टूडेंट माने जो फेस करूचंदी सेटा जानि कि आमे गोटे हाइपोथेसिस नो जे हो ए जदि मु जेमती मोर थिला कि रीडिंग पिलांकर बहुत इश्यू थिला रीडिंग इश्यू थिला तो से रीडिंग इश्यूटा काहे की होची रीडिंग स्किल तांकर डेवलपमेंट काहे की हे परनी मु तार किछि हाइपोथेसिस नेबी कि एथि पई तांकर हे पार नथो तापरे मु ता पई इंटरवेंशंस नेबी कि तांको प्रॉपर एक्सपोजर मिलनी तो मु किछि स्टोरी बुक्स आनी कि तांको देली पढिया पई केमती तांको सहित कार्टून किछि देखेली तो जहा फल तांकर वोकाबुलरी स्ट्रांग हैला से इंटरवेंशन नेला परे पुणी मु आउ थरे जतरे ऑब्जर्व करबी कि तांकर डेवलपमेंट हैला कि नाही तो तापर गोटे रिसर्च रे रिपोर्ट हमें शेयर कर
मनीषा थैंक यू एनी अदर
क्लासरूम रे जते बेले हमें देखू किछि प्रॉब्लम फेस करू तो ताकू नै कि हमें फर्स्ट सैंपल कलेक्ट करू कोन केते पिलांग भीतर से प्रॉब्लम होउची एवं तार स्ट्रेटजी प्लान करके हमें ताकू माने करू जे एते हमर सक्सेस होउची जदी सक्सेस न होची हमें पुनी नुवा स्ट्रेटजी प्लान करू सेटा होची एक्शन रिसर्च
therefore action research is a cycling process dream tutorial तो ना कोन ड्रीम ट्यूटोरियल जो कहलो तो ना कोन
स्वप्नमय सारणी
हां तमर एठी सेव होई ड्रीम ट्यूटोरियल रे ओके स्वप्ना भाई यू आर राइट सो यू टोल्ड जदी सक्सेस हेलानी पुनी अगेन वी ट्राई so action research remember it action research is a cycling process ravindra can you say anything ravindra can you say sukanti can you say
yes sir सो एमिति भी हुए कि मोर क्लास रे कोन हेतला ना पिला क्लास 7 8 रो अक्षांश राखिबा बुझी पार नथले तो सेइथ पई मु क्लास करिथिली तांकर हेले भी बुझी पार नथले समान ठीक रे तनो से मानको से अक्षांश राखिबा बुझेबा पई मु एक्शन रिसर्च करिथिली सेथरे माने विभिन्न प्रकार जेमति कि पियाज आलू तापरे कमला ए सब नै कि तांको मु बुझैथिली तापर जेतले इवैल्यूएशन करिथिली सेथरे केते पिला सक्सेस हेले आ केते हेलेनी तापरे मु जानि परथिली जे जेत्ति कि पिला बुझी पानथले माने ता थारु बहुत पिला बुझी परथिले जो पिला जम्मा भी किछि कहि पानथले आंसर कहि पानथले अक्षांश कोन राखिमा कोन जम्मा जानि पानथले से माने बुझी पारले तो सेटा को मु करथिली आ
थैंक यू सुकांती okay so you have certain idea about action research so you know while you do it I encourage you all you should continue it as a teacher frequently you notice the difficulties of your learners and the difficulties the region of the difficulties should be pointed out first after analyzing the region of difficulties you should develop the innovative strategical plan and innovative activities using innovative TLM and use it during intervention program. After that, you have to compare their previous achievement level and after treatment the achievement level, then you can understand whether your strategic intervention or strategic plan was effective If effective, what was the percentage of effectiveness, and how you can make it more effective, you should make another plan. So this is a cycling process. So one after another, you have to do it for the better achievement of the learners. So action research may not only related to curricular area, it is also related to the improving the attendance of the learners. So most of the time, the students are absent in school. So go for that. Why the child remains absent frequently? Find out the reason and do an action research how to make the child regular to the school. So the child telling the lie, frequently telling lie. So conduct an action research and develop the strategy how to the child will tell truth instead of lie. So related to the social issues, action research should be conducted with the social issues also. You should give focus on those. And quality issues in action research is related to school-based issues, learner achievement issues, classroom environment issues, school-based issues, school जो problem सब रही that is school based issues. Learner achievement जो टाइम हमें आलोचना कले तो मैंने example सब कहलो that is related to learner achievement. Classroom environment, so in the whole classroom environment, that is classroom environmental level issues. Classroom transaction issues, the classroom transaction कला हम transaction के effective तब जाने पे मुझे action research कर पाएगा. Teacher training issues, community based issues, combining quality. So number of issues are there. Basing on all any issues, we have to develop the action research. So now government of Odisha, government of India has given stress to conduct action research by the teachers in district level. So Diet Noyagar at Rasunakala has invited me to go to the an expert and resource person to render certain support and training to the teachers and CRCCs as well as the teacher educators, how to develop questionnaire, how to form action research and complete it. And yesterday also, the principal of Diet Kotak also called me and requested me, sir, please kindly give me certain days to train more than 100 teachers in my districts to conduct action research. So number of funds have been allotted by the government of India and government of Odisha to the schools through the DITs at district level for conducting action research, because its importance is very high, a necessity. So what steps are involved in action research? The first step is identifying the problem through reference work, initiative actions, collection of data, evaluation analysis, drawing the findings, and document out findings. Okay, these are the different steps of in an action research. Format for documentation of an action research is first is introduction. गोटे डॉक्यूमेंट से तेल दम दबो एक्शन रिसर्च में दबो सबमिट करिवो परीक्षा रे भी आसीबो एटा भलारे मन रख प्रथमे गोटे टाइटल लिखिवो फर्स्ट कोन लिखिवो रिपोर्ट रे टाइटल तापर इंट्रोडक्शन स्टेटमेंट ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम से प्रॉब्लम टा को स्टेट करिवो केमति कोन नेला टाइटल जो फाइंड आउट कलो तापर objective पर research plan करिवो what are the plans of the research, how you have to conduct the action research, then sample and method, then findings, then conclusion by educational implication. लास्ट गोटे रहबो रेफरेंस मन रखिथा रिपोर्ट लिखला बेले लास्ट को रेफरेंस माने तई काम करे को बही को आर्टिकल शब्द में रेफर करछ पढिछ कि को टूल को रेफर कर चले. Unit 15 is teachers are reflective practitioner. You go to the slide. reflection is a process in which an experience is recalled, considered, and evaluated in relation to some broad purpose. So, John Dewey is the originator of reflection theory. After him, Plato, Aristotle, Confucius, Solomon, and Buddha followed reflective practices. So, reflection is a process in which an experience is recalled. What you have been observed today at home, you should remember it and write it, note it. That is your reflection.
ଆଉଥରେ ସାର୍ ଟିକେ
Suppose you are listening me now. After my class, you will sit silently, take a note and pen, and what you listen, that have to remember, recall. After recalling everything, you have to note it. That is your reflection. That reflection can show you what was your percentage of memorization and conception and conceptualization. तो केते हमर बुझितो बुझवा जे हम केते मन रहितो यदि बुझिथिबो सेटा मन रहितो न बुझिले रिफ्लेक्शन किछ आसीबो कोर हेइबो बुझियला
yes sir yes sir
Yes, sir.
एबे देखो आउट कथा कहूछ different perspectives on reflection. Number one is Dewey on reflection. What was the theory of reflection as per John Dewey? It is a specialized form of thinking which originates from the need to solve a problem. One is open-mindedness. What is open-mindedness? Willingness of individual to give attention to alternative views. आमे तो willingness रहिबा, be attentive and give our alternative views. That is known as open-mindedness. What is responsibility? Desire to actively reach for truth and apply often information to problematic situations. आमे गोटे knowledge पाइले, information पाइले, experience gather कले, जते बेले ताको आमे right another situation use करिकी problem solve करि पारुचे सेटा that is known as responsibility. Wholeheartedness, sincerity and conviction on what one believes. That is wholeheartedness. What one believes, that must be related to your sincerity and conviction. So reflection on three level progression. One is practical reflection. Practical reflection is concerned with assessment of educational goals and how they are achieved by the learners. That is practical. No प्रकृति रे चिंता करिबी मो पिला गुडी को केमिति ए लर्निंग आउटकम को हासिल करिवे मु से प्रयास करिबी. That is known as practical reflection. Critical reflection concerns with the worth of educational goals. जो educational goal मूल्य सहित related. Critical reflection. Technical level concerned with the efficiency and effectiveness of the means used to achieve the objectives. So what method, what technique I use, whether that was benefited or not benefited. If benefited, there is effectiveness. Not benefited, there is no effectiveness. So that is technical level of reflection. Try layered reflective thinking model. That is technical reflection. Simple description of observation. जहाँ तमें सब observe कल तक describe करियो simple हो. Focus on behavior, content, skills, behavior ऊपर, content ऊपर, skill ऊपर focus तो. Task oriented, use of appropriate educational vocabulary. Teachers can address curriculum instruction as well as diagnostic and control issues. एटा सब जानी तमें ये जो बात को हमें technical reflection भीतर निका. Contextual reflection. Reflection on the practices that affect learning. On the context which affect our learning, that is contextual reflection. Reflection on the context of the problem, reflection on related theory to practice, reflection on various alternatives. सदाबले आमे फोकस दबा contextual learning ऊपर. What is contextual learning? Who can say what is contextual learning? Anybody? What is contextual learning? को के जने कौन तुमर धारणा अछि? Yes.
कंटेंट को बेस करके जो लर्निंग
No,
एक्टिविटीज करे
content में मु कहि छी contextual.
सर रियल लाइफ को
TUAL.
सर रियल लाइफ सिचुएशन लर्निंग
सर रियल लाइफ को रिलेट करे जो
Very good, very good. Yes, thank you. So on the real context, real situation, I just got example them dothili, my purse doesn't permit. It is contextual. In that real situation, the child believes, so purse doesn't permit. Oh, sir has no money. Okay, okay. So in the context can know the, we always read the Times of India, Asian Age English newspaper or magazines. Can we know the meaning of every word? But in the context, we can understand the meaning of the paragraph, meaning of the sentence, meaning of the word. Yes or no? In the right context, we can guess the meaning of the word. What is the meaning of the word in this context? So context, that is known as contextual reflection. Dialectic reflection is known as systematically questioning practice. Systematic way re tume question practice pilan kare. Suggest alternatives and competing theories. Gote theory achi tar competing alternative theory kotha kahibo. Reflect on decisions and consequences during the course of action. Bring moral, ethical and socio-political issues up for discussion. Moral discussion, ethical discussions, socio-political issues also you have to discuss. Approaches to reflective thinking. One is cognitive approach, critical pedagogy, another is narrative approach. These are the different approaches for reflective thinking. Techniques of promoting reflection, teacher narratives is another technique. Reflective journal, तुमे जो WhatsApp रे सब लिखिबो, reflective diary लिखिबो. These are the techniques. Regular तुमे personal diary लिखुछ ना लिखुना? कौन कहउछ? लखीमप्रिया कौन कहउछ?
क्रिटिकल पेडागोजी सर क्रिटिकल पेडागोजी कोन
क्रिटिकल अच्छा अच्छा कहउछ ओके local culture, context and custom को व्यवहार करी पिलार ज्ञान को वृद्धि करिवार जो कौशल ताको आमे क्रिटिकल पेडागोजी कहिता. बुझियला? क्रिटिकल पेडागोजी based on hello
रियल लाइफ
situation, local culture, local context, custom, usage, यही सब को नहीं कि व्यवहार करके हमें पिलार ज्ञान को वृद्धि करबा वाला क्रिटिकल पेडागोजी. How teachers make decisions. It gives stress on
सर नैरेटिव अप्रोच
using narrative approach. Teachers create their own pedagogical principle as they describe, analyze, make interferences. तुमे निजे तुमर गोटे pedagogical principle develop कला. Narrative means describe, analyze. Teacher will analyze and describe as per their own principle, pedagogical principle. That is narrative approach. बुझियला? शिक्षक ता निजर प्रिंसिपल अनुसार पेडागोजी प्रिंसिपल अनुसार जो डिस्क्राइब करे एनालाइज करे दैट इज नोन एज नैरेटिव अप्रोच. चला
ओके सर
आ कुछ अछि डाउट की या प्रोसीड करिबा? So techniques of promoting reflection, teacher narratives gala, reflexive journal gala, discussion, cooperative learning is a technique, role play is also another technique. Here is unit
Reflexive
6.
journals means?
ये जो रिफ्लेक्टिव जर्नल पूरा तुमर जो डायरी लेखुच तुमर जो डायरी लेखुच रिफ्लेक्टिव डायरी दैट विल बी रिफ्लेक्टेड इन द फॉर्म ऑफ ए जर्नल कंटेंट थिबो जर्नल हम जानि ने जो जर्नल रे आर्टिकल सब पब्लिश हुए तुम रिफ्लेक्टिव डायरी टा को तुम जर्नल बेस से पब्लिश कर रिफ्लेक्टिव जर्नल ए डायरी जर्नल अभी तक चीज सब वर्डिंग व्यवहार है किंतु पाठ गोटिए बुझ परछ नै brief summary of a lecturer लेखिबा हो गोटे जर्नल रिफ्लेक्टिव जर्नल practice teaching, lab activity, group discussion, reading what? Konde? Hello. Kuha. Suni paila bhaliya kuha. Okay. Tapore ame asle, it is very important for you all. Menoka kon kahibo ki? Nale mute kara. मेनका कौन कहू ना सुबुन तम वॉइस टा बड़ बड़ कह यस you are not audible mute कर दिया you are not audible to me
सर से कहउछंती कंस्ट्रक्टिव अप्रोच
Acha, anybody who can say what is constructive approach?
Sir, picture provides situation to construct their knowledge. So
Menoka, you first
constructive
mute your
approach.
phone. Take care. Menoka, your problem, mic is your network is problem. You mute yourself first. Then listen. Menoka, yes, now listen. Yes, kuha kiya kautula kuha. Continue.
So teachers creates a situation. Teachers create situation that student will construct the knowledge through teacher. That is called constructive approach.
Okay.
So student construct knowledge through experience.
Experience, yes, practical experience. Okay. So just I am giving an example. What is constructive learning? Menoka, listen it. So just I am a teacher. I am going to give certain information about the post office and the transaction of a post office, the activities and functions of post office. In a classroom, if I will tell my students, they will listen and they forget in next day or day after tomorrow or next day, they will forget. But if I will take my students to the post office and involve them to observe, to share their views with the postmaster, post peon, what are the functions, what are the postmaster's activities, what everything they will share and experience visiting to the post office, they can gather the information, knowledge, and that is known as constructive approach of constructing the knowledge themselves. बुझियला मेनका? Do you got it? What is constructive approach? Do you got it? 16 is professional development of teachers. It is very important. Teaching as a profession. Can you say what is a profession? What is a profession?
Occupation.
Why teaching is a profession? Medical practice? No, teaching is a teaching is a occupation or profession?
Sir, profession.
Teaching is, yes. So
Profession.
acquisition of
Profession.
yes, profession. Why it is a profession? Listen. acquisition of
why not, sir,
knowledge.
occupation?
Acha Chandan Babu,
Sir,
can you can you can you teach a student without with money? गोटे पिला गरीब पिला तार पैसा पत्र किछि नाही से आपण पाखु पढिया पे आसिला आपण एटी डिमांड करिवे मते पैसा देले ही मते पढेइबी नहले पढेइबिनी.
this is another matter. But when I teach in school, we got money. This is the occupation.
No.
In our
Listen,
occupation column, we write teacher.
Listen. You listen first. Then you can reflect yourself whether it is teaching is profession or an occupation. We are getting salary. We are getting salary from the service. But our service is not related to the classroom only. We are not the teacher for the 10 to 4 p.m. We are teacher in the society. We are teacher in the community. We are teacher with the student as well. I am prove as a teacher before the parents. I am the parents who पाठ पढ़ाउने. I am the society जाई पढ़ाउने. काहे कि हम teacher बोली सबुटी परिगणित होउचे. Because our duty as a teacher is not concerned with 10 to 4 p.m. Government is giving salary for our maintenance. One can live. But suppose the child is come to your home in the evening and request, sir, this is my doubt, please make it clear. Can you refuse? No. This is not school. Unless and until you pay me, I cannot help you. Teacher cannot say this because our profession as teaching is a profession because teacher works for the betterment of the society. Never demand for money. That is service part is another. We are getting salary, we are teaching in the school. So therefore we cannot say that is occupation. So this is the definition here, you see. Another, in addition to my statement, another definition is here. Acquisition of knowledge, skill, and application of those for the service of humanity is a profession. आमे सेया को प्रोफेशन कहिबा आमे जो नॉलेज स्किल ग्रहण करी ताको अप्लाई करू काहे कि ना ह्यूमैनिटी ह्यूमन सर्विस ऑफ द सोसाइटी समाज रो सेवा पे आमे प्रयोग करू ताको आमे ऑक्युपेशन कहिता ए ताको प्रोफेशन कहिताऊ. सो टीचर इज ए पर्सन who acquires the knowledge and skill and apply that knowledge and skill for the service of the society, service to human being. समाज रो मंगल पे से तार ज्ञान को प्रयोग करि थाए, not destruction of the society. Therefore
गोटे एग्जांपल कहबी
हां को
सर गोटे टीचर को वैल्यू से माने से गोटे टीचर को वैल्यू से मरला पर्यंत तांकर थिबो तांक से काहा को पढ़े थांतो कि न पढ़े थांतो से टीचर माने समस्त तांको कहबे ना सी हम गुरुजी से पाठ पढौतले समस्त को से गुरुजी सेटा हो तांकर गोटे भलो प्रोफेशन.
After death, who are the true teachers? He or she will remember in the society after death also. Okay. So therefore, teaching is a profession because acquisition of knowledge, skill, and application of those for the service of humanity is profession. So then another characteristics are there. Why teaching is a profession? Number of characteristics are there. What are those? A profession demands of specialized knowledge and practical training. I'm specialized knowledge, practical training, research training, a profession renders an essential social service. Just I told you. A profession demands continuous in-service training of its members. Continuously in-service training. How many hours? per year teacher must be get training in service training 50 hours 50 घंटा सब वर्षे तमे ट्रेनिंग को बाध्य. So a profession demands that a profession involves a code of ethics. Code of ethics is there. A profession assures its members of professional career. These are the characteristics of a profession. So accordingly, the teaching professionals should maintain all these characteristics, becoming the good professional. So, need and importance of professional development. This is a question for you all. Say about the educational policies of our country between 2001 to 22. 2001 ରୁ 2020 ଭିତରେ जो एजुकेशनल पॉलिसी आम देश रे आसी जिता ना कोन सब 2001 to 2022 20. What are the educational policies?
NEP 2020.
NEP 2005.
NEP 2020.
NEP 2005
NCF 2000.
My question is national educational policy, not documents. NCF 2005 is a document.
Sir, Operation Blackboard.
NEP 2020.
Operation sir blackboard.
NEP 2020. Okay, very good. NEP 2020.
Sir, Operation Blackboard.
Operation Blackboard 19.
Operation Blackboard is a scheme under AP 1986. National Policy on Education 1986 रो गोटे scheme थिला Operation Blackboard. Okay, very good. सर्व शिक्षा अभियान not a policy, it is a scheme. Okay, so policy is NEP 2020. You are right. Before NEP 2020, National Policy on Education 1986 was functional in our country. Okay. Second question is what?
Sir, not
What are
audible.
the important schemes which have influenced teaching learning system during 2001 to 2020? 2001 ରୁ 20 ଭିତରେ କୋ ସ୍କିମ୍?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
ମଝିରେ ଟୋଟାଲି ଶୁଣା ଯାଉନି.
Second question, what are the important schemes which have influenced teaching learning system during 2001 to 2020? 2001 ରୁ
सर्व शिक्षा अभियान.
सर्व शिक्षा अभियान. Very good.
सर्व शिक्षा अभियान.
Yes. आउ कोन स्कीम सब?
सर मिड डे मील स्कीम.
सर समग्र शिक्षा.
समग्र शिक्षा. Very good. सर्व शिक्षा अभियान, राष्ट्रीय माध्यमिक शिक्षा अभियान, कम्बाइनिंगली केम टू
मिनिमम
समग्र शिक्षा अभियान. Very good.
मिनिमम लेवल ऑफ लर्निंग, MLL मिनिमम लेवल ऑफ लर्निंग.
That is not scheme. Under समग्र शिक्षा और सर्व शिक्षा अभियान रामसा कहिछि परा सुन सर्व शिक्षा अभियान is a scheme. Ramsa was also a scheme. Those schemes mixed and became Samagra Sikha Abhijan. It is a scheme. MDM mill is a scheme. MDM is a scheme. How कौन scheme? एक कुरकुड़ी भीतर काम करछि.
Sir, universal mission elementary education.
More school अभियान.
No. Those are not scheme. These are the schemes. एक कुरकुड़ी भीतर scheme काम करछि. सर्व शिक्षा अभियान was there for elementary education. राष्ट्रीय माध्यमिक शिक्षा अभियान was for secondary and higher secondary. Now समग्र शिक्षा अभियान is for both elementary and secondary. So MDM scheme is also functioning today. Okay. How these policies and schemes have influenced the role of a teacher in an elementary or secondary school? A scheme policy किपरि भाबरे शिक्षक भूमिका को प्रभावित करिथाय? किपरि प्रभावित करता है? Here are the your answers. NEP 1986, NP 1986, POA 1992, NEP 2020, NCF 2005, NCF for T 2009, Right to Education Act 2009, सर्व शिक्षा अभियान, समग्र शिक्षा अभियान, राष्ट्रीय माध्यमिक शिक्षा अभियान, teachers training at a cluster, block, district level. Then need of professional development, expanding knowledge due to changing pedagogy, increasing involvement of media, focus of ICT, enactment of policy and schemes, meeting demands of society and nation. These are the demands of the present day. In-service teacher training as professional development. All these commissions gave in focus. Secondary Education Commission, 1952. Indian Education Commission, 1964. National Commission of Teachers, 1983. National Policy on Education, 1986. National Knowledge Commission, 2009. Report by NCRD, August 2009. Central Sponsored Scheme of Teacher Education, NCFT 2009. Revised Implementation Framework of Sarva Shikha Abhiyan. So all reports, all commissions and committees giving focus on continuous professional development, CPD. Why not? To maintain updating knowledge, improving classroom practice, dealing with emerging challenges, professional networking. So today, CPD through ICT, information communication technology, that is portal for educational purposes like SAK Sakshat, facilitated lifelong learning for students, teachers and others in pursuit to knowledge free of cost. It is what a portal is. MOOC is another portal, massive online open courses as lifelong learning opportunity. OER repositories are there. National Institute of Open Schooling is there, NIOS is there, IGNO is there, Odisha Open University is there. So wiki, blogs and discussion forum, discussion group and forum, social networking like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, WhatsApp. These are the different platforms in digital ways we have given the facility of a training to the teachers. So e-conference are there, benefits of e-conference webinars are there. These are the benefits. Always we are organizing this. So these are the different platforms. By using all these, we have to educate our teachers, giving continuously professional training to our teachers. So this is the all about your unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and our 4 days discussion. Okay, thank you all for listening me for last 4 days.